It's interesting. Have you ever been to Las Vegas?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, Las Vegas was built on a 1% edge, basically. Those casinos...
1% edge?
In other words, if you play blackjack
Yeah.
and you play it perfectly, I don't mean count or do anything else. I think their edge is something like 0.68%. That's the house's edge. In fact, they dropped 32%, which is almost, 6, 8. But it's about, it's an astonishingly bigger number than what the odds really are because people just play badly. But the bottom line is the biggest decision they made in Las Vegas when the mob took over Vegas and so on, and then they said, look, the smart thing is let's not cheat. Because if you cheat, if people go in and they get cheated, they're just not going to go back. We already have the edge. They built that entire city on an edge, mathematical edge, of all the games that they spread, of basically less than 1% on the average. It only needs 1% to tip it. Donald Trump won the 2016 election by 10,000 votes in Wisconsin. All they got to do is have a car show up with a trunk full of ballots, and I'm not saying that they cheated in the election. I'm not saying that.
You're scared about this time? Is that what you're
that's
saying?
a separate issue. Let me just say this. Only 25%, I think it is, membership of the NRA is registered to vote.
I know.
You're worried about gun rights? Get out and vote.
No, what about Catholics?
Catholics, get
there
out
are
and vote.
Some 30 million Catholics who are not registered to vote who could tip this thing in an instant.
So
they
here's
just got
the
out there and
bottom
voted their
line.
principles.
If you get over the edge, look at California. I said, don't we have the death penalty in California? We have the death penalty. Yeah, but Gavin Newsom is not going to support it. He has a mandate against it. I'm sorry. We voted for that. That is the law of the state. How does he just get to cherry pick which laws he wants to enforce? How is that even possible? You don't get to pick, okay, great, then I'm not going to, I guess I'll just carry a bazooka around in Chicago. I mean, of course, I'm not going to do that.
No, but this is how we
how do
wound
you
up
get to
with...
pick and choose what the laws are?
That's why we have over 10 million illegals under Joe Biden. He just chose not to enforce the border laws.
Yeah, 10 million. I'm sorry, let me correct you.
Yeah, well,
10 million that we know of.
Quote, documented, that the Border Patrol has counted 10.4 million. Wait, I just want to bring you this this breaking news. Okay, this is coming to me as we're sitting here. Am I reading this correctly? Because I'm reading my producer's note that the Washington Post has chosen not to endorse a candidate.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. WAPO publisher William Lewis and chief executive officer of the Washington Post. The Washington Post will not be making an endorsement of a presidential candidate in this election, following on the heels of the LA Times doing the same, nor in any future presidential election. We're returning to our roots of not endorsing presidential candidates.
Oh, yeah, just in the nick of time. Wow. What a shocker.
They've been endorsing... all Democrats, just looking back, of course, it was Biden, Clinton, Obama, Kerry, Al Gore.
Yeah.
They've endorsed every Democrat for president of the last 50 years.
They're like porn
except
fluffers.
Dukakis in 1988.
Yeah.
So Stephen L. Miller, he comes on the show, he tweets out, Kamala Harris, he's Hitler, Washington Post. Yeah, we've thought about it, and we're still not going to endorse you over Hitler. Sorry.
Yeah.
So this is actually really interesting because we're
not going to endorse you over Hitler.
Yeah. But we totally believe you. Like he's
so
definitely Hitler.
ridiculous.
He's Hitler, sure, but
It's
no.
so ridiculous.
But this same thing is happening right now where we are in LA. The LA Times, for the first time in years, did not endorse a candidate, and it was because the owner, who seems to be a more middle of the road guy, said we're not doing that. And now you've had like the top person in the editorial board resign, saying it's too important.
Yeah.
As if the people in California don't understand how the LA Times editorial board feels about Donald Trump.
It was either that or his butt plug fell out. I mean, I'm sorry. These guys, I'm so sick of them. Oh, I'm going to go off in a hissy fit. Great, Halloween's coming up. Get ready to put on your Tina Turner outfit and go down Santa Monica
Well, let me tell you
Boulevard.
something. Who's going to hire this woman? Because newspapers are dying. She should have been happy to have a job. She's been working there for the past 10 years or so.
It's
Good
ridiculous.
luck finding another job.
Yeah.
So she left in a hussy, and now we'll see what happens at the Washington Post.
When the
not
rats
endorsing
start
Kamala
deserting
Harris.
the sinking ship, you know you're in trouble.
They're deserting. It's happening.
they're really, because they don't want to be like, oh my God. I mean, they don't want to have for their historical posterity the fact that they literally endorsed this clown show. It's a clown show.
You can tell. It's
by
so
the way,
dishonest about it.
You have a right to vote for whomever you want. Thank God we're in America. And there may be, look, I know that, you know, women have very, very strong feelings about certain issues. I'm not going to call them reproductive rights because that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about abortion, you know, and so on. Abortion is legal in California, so I don't know what they're upset about. It's a states' right issue, and many states, surprisingly, even Ohio, you know, say, yes, we're going to have abortion. And
Kamala Harris cannot help you. If you are an abortion voter, she cannot help you. It is now back in the states. You need to think about who you vote in your state legislature and your state gubernatorial races. She cannot help you any longer. That fight is done at the federal government.
But if you have a daughter who wants to cut her breasts off at 14 years old because somebody in her class told her that, you know, she really is a boy and so on, Kamala Harris will be right there and hand you the scalpel.
100%.
1,000%.